head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dog passed away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't match the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be
Winter reveals the hidden lie. Moonlight could mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit sky. There's no cover, no disguise.
all the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Yeah, please. Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I just realized I only had one earring in. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Come on in. Come on in. My name is Elizabeth, and this is Hillbilly Crime. We are absolutely digging in to this Kentucky Power whole situation. So those of you who live in Kentucky know exactly what we're talking about. But those of you who don't live in Kentucky probably don't know what we're talking about. And it's been really difficult for people in Kentucky to pay their power bills. The rate increases. There is a regulated monopoly. That is the way that the utilities are run here in Kentucky. And I think they have some service area in West Virginia as well. So it's not just a Kentucky thing. And one thing that that I have found while researching all of this stuff is that it's not just this area. It's not just Kentucky Power. Shockingly, it is, it has been around the country, all around the country. They're having trouble with rate increases and, so they had Kentucky Power has a board called the Public Service Commission, and it's 3 people who sits on this board, and they are responsible for overseeing the day-to-day stuff with the utilities. It's not just the electric companies. It's like they have control over water and all kinds of stuff. But I have been digging into all of this because people are having to pay $1,500 electric bills every month. Every month? What? I mean, it's just it's absolutely crazy to me. And everybody's struggling with this. You know, it's not just one family, you know, it's a lot of them. So come on in. Let me come to our chat real fast and say hello before we get started. And where is Zelmy? Where is Mama? Sweet Tater. Let's see. She should have already been on here. She was going out for a walk about an hour ago.
Are you ready?
I'm on. Come on.
Okay.
All right. Bye. So she'll be on here in just a minute. Hi, Philip, honey. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Crystal. Hello, Marnie. Tell our mods. Hello. Now, let me put our QR code up. This is our QR code. That will take you to our Facebook page over on the Book of Faces. And put our logo up in the corner. Sometimes my stuff just goes off the screen. We got to put it back on there. Now, the title tonight, Who Really Controls Kentucky Power? Following the money behind AEP. AEP is the parent company. Hello there, Sweet Tater.
Hello, Elizabeth. How are you today?
I am wonderful. I'm very, very blessed. How about you?
Oh, I'm wonderful too. You got some
Good.
little critters back there. They look like back there on your couch or something.
Yeah, them little stuffed
What do you
animals.
think?
And
What is
I
it?
had they're little stuffed animals. I had to try and cover up this piece of the couch that the dogs have destroyed climbing up there. They've made them a bed out of this side, this cushion.
Well, I got you a thing to put on it.
Oh, well, good. Thank you. Thank you.
It's
Thank
pretty
you.
cool. Well, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It was round. Well, you'll see it. I mean, it's really just this coolest thing you've ever seen. And you know them big round cushion-like things that people have in the floor?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was for. But it'll work great on your couch.
Well, great. Yeah, well, I have one outside. I had one in that big round chair, and I took it out there and stuck it on the porch for them dogs.
Well, they like it, the things you do for them.
Yeah. Well, every one of these critters that I got come from a really, really bad place. They were all like me. They were lost, and now we're found. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. All right. Now, who really controls Kentucky Power? Following the money behind AEP. Now whenever they do these rate cases and they put in an application or is it a rate case application, I guess is what you'd call it. They then have to have a hearing. They have to submit all of their data. They have to submit a whole bunch of stuff. And so tonight, we're going to ask a simple question that affects every electric bill in Eastern Kentucky, right? Who really controls Kentucky Power? That's our question. Because if the company that sends the bill isn't the company making the big decisions, then who is accountable to the people paying that bill? Now, here's why we are digging into that tonight. Okay. Let me get it up here where I can see it on my screen. All right. AEP, that's the American Electric Power. Now, they just told investors something that should make ratepayers pay attention. They're talking about a 5-year, 72 billion with a B dollar capital plan. They're talking about 7 to 9% long-term earnings growth. Now, those words, those just sound like words to most of us, right? Most of us have absolutely no idea what any of that means. And so what we are doing over on our Patreon is we are breaking all of this down into plain English that people can understand. Because we can go pull up the hearing. We're going to watch some of it here in just a second. But we can go watch it as customers, as citizens, and we can listen to every single word that they say and every single word that they swear to. And we don't know what the heck they're saying. They could be cussing us out in math. And we wouldn't know. We wouldn't have any idea. And so that's what we're doing over on Patreon. So make sure that you come over to our Patreon and check out some of the work that we're doing over there. I worked all day today trying to get this edit together just for Patreon, for one of our Patreon pieces. And but it was something that we need to come and do our show about too, so we can bring people in. But now they're talking about 7 to 9% long-term earnings growth, and they're talking about 10% annual rate base growth, headed towards 128 billion. Now, that's not politics, you guys. That's not an opinion. That's AEP telling Wall Street what the plan is. And then in the Kentucky PSC hearing for Kentucky Power's rate case, Commission staff asked the question that you and I would ask. Now, I am very, very impressed with the PSC, the Public Service Commission's staff attorney. There's one staff attorney on their staff that he gets it. He gets it. He catches almost every single bit of it. But one thing that I've noticed in watching days and days and hours of this hearing, which this is already over with. This hearing happened in January. They were just approved. They were just approved on their rate increase, their rate case. But there were some very interesting things that happened in that approval. They did not get all that they asked for. And I'm actually I'm just impressed. I'm impressed with what the PSC did this time. Now, I can't say anything about any previous times because I didn't really dig into any of the other rate cases yet. We've started with this last one. Now, the question, the commission staff asked the question that you and I would ask. Who has the ultimate authority to make decisions at Kentucky Power? Now, Kentucky Power is the one that's making everybody pay these bills. They're the ones that keep coming back with rate case after rate case after rate case, and it doesn't look like there's any stop. There's no end in sight. Do you see any, Mom?
No.
They're just going to keep stacking them up. And every time that they are given an approval on a rate case, that means they're given more money. And one of the things that they're doing with one of their credits, some kind of a credit that they got, it's like a 3-year coupon is basically what it is. So the first year they're gonna give us a cut, a small cut. The second year they're gonna give us another small cut. But then the third year, all of that cut goes away, and then people are going to be used to their bills going down, right? Or maybe at least not raising. It's going to maybe be smaller, but then all of a sudden we're going to hit that third year, and that bill's going to that money's going, or that charge is going to kick in fully, and then everybody's what they're paying $1,500 a month now. What are they going to be paying then? So tonight we're going to watch the key exchange, and then we're going to break down what it means. And I want you to watch the answers very closely, because the PSC's final order later said that the witness could not clearly explain in some circumstances whether Kentucky Power or AEP controlled certain decisions.
Of the board.
And he is not the CEO of Kentucky Power, because my understanding was the last CEO of AEP was also the CEO of Kentucky Power. Was that correct? Or is that incorrect?
Can you repeat this?
The previous CEO of AEP is also the CEO of Kentucky Power.
No, the operating company titles have been president and COO for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the current CEO of AEP doesn't hold any position other than chairman of the board.
Right, but he is on the Kentucky Power, a governing board too. So he participates on that, as do I, as do others.
The Kentucky Power Governing Board, is that?
I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but it's we have its own advisory board. So,
is that like the board, like the corporate board? Or?
Yeah, it's a corporate.
Okay, so you're on the board, the CEO of AEP, and who else is on the board?
There is a list of people, other executives at AEP, and then also including Amy Elliott, our Vice President of External Affairs and Customer Service.
How many other people from AEP? You said a list.
I don't recall the total.
Approximately.
Probably 10 or so, I think. Yeah.
And does that board have the legal authority to act on behalf of Kentucky Power in the same way that a board of a non-fully owned subsidiary would act?
Well, AEP is our parent company, so that's a legal question, but I think the answer would be yes. I'm not exactly sure of that, but the people who are on that, including my boss, we do work closely with that. The decision making lies with me and my team at Kentucky Power, more so than ever with our new CEO. He very much wants us to be operating our companies and, running our companies with, the best decisions. Of course, we use a lot of people to seek advice from and guidance from at all levels in the corporation.
And that's kind of what I was actually, the question that I was getting at is, who holds like the ultimate authority to make decisions? I guess if you had a separate corporation, you'd have the CEO appointed by the board, the CEO making decisions and, being held accountable to the board in some way.
I do feel accountable to the board, obviously, because AEP has a board of directors also, but as far as making the decisions, I am the one who is ultimately responsible for making decisions for Kentucky Power.
And do you have are there any kind of, are there established controls, policies, or procedures that govern the decisions that you're able to make without consulting the board or without consulting the CEO versus
a little bit better
that you're able to make, on your own?
It's typically more that we make the decisions and inform of those. We don't really, could have a lot of answers, but, if I want to install AMI meters, that would be Kentucky Power's idea. That would be up to us to figure out how to make that happen. And then, we do for like capital dollars, we do rely on the parent company for that. So we'd have to get that authorization from them.
I was going to ask about that in a second, but I guess I was more asking about is there a specific established policy that governs
probably
the decisions
I'm not
you're
sure. Yeah, I'm sure there is I'm sure there is something.
Do you know what that is?
Not off the top of my head, I do not.
I guess I was wondering then, how do you know what decisions that you can make on your own? Obviously you wouldn't go out and sign a contract for $1 billion generation facility, I'm assuming. Is that correct?
$1 billion generation facility, when I sign a contract on my own, I would most certainly consult others on that and get advice, and certainly my boss would be informed of those decisions. He's pretty engaged in our, even in our day-to-day actions. He's probably more so than any CEO I've seen in my history here. So certainly, the decision would be whether it's a good decision for us to make or not. He will tell me it's your business to run, it's your customers. You need to make the decisions on what's best for the business and what's best for our customers. And so again, it's more of informing AEP on what our plans are and seek their help in accomplishing it.
And I understand it, I guess, and I'm just trying to understand a little better how you know what actions you can take independently versus what actions you would need specific approval from the CEO or the board. How do you know where an action that you want to take falls within that spectrum?
I don't think there's any one particular threshold or project, but certainly we have a strategic plan at Kentucky Power that's built out over the course of the year and starting to work, on a longer term plan too. We're always refreshing that, and so, again, it's about informing and consulting with not just my boss, but other members of the executive leadership team. I don't know how to specifically answer your question. If there's not a one document or a form or a policy that I can think of. There are policies that exist, obviously, but it's really more that we run our companies and inform and seek, obviously for capital investments and so forth like that, we have to get approval for.
I guess, just to, as some examples, just some specific decisions, just to better understand, how the decision making is made at Kentucky Power. You mentioned a strategic plan. What is that?
It's our business plan that we use to set our goals for the year and how we will execute on those and how they will be measured. And they cover, a lot of different topics from safety, customer satisfaction, reliability metrics, other, environmental, professional development is included. I mean, those are sections in our business plan.
And who prepares the strategic plan?
I did with my team at Kentucky.
Okay. And do you utilize people from the services companies to prepare that, or is that something that you all prepare?
No, we did that solely on our own.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you do that every year?
Yes, especially going forward. This was this type of business plan that we have in place now was something new that our CEO brought, and each operating company has its own, and probably each business unit, like the transmission group and others, have it as well. But and then we actually do present it to the AEP board after it's finalized. But it was 100% our own creation, and we did the work on it.
And I guess he started in 2024, so this is a new thing, but the intent is that that's going to happen every year.
Absolutely, yes.
And what time of year does that strategic plan get submitted?
They were for this year. It was more toward the fourth quarter, I believe. I'm not sure when we finished it. We worked on it for a good couple of months, and we continue to I'm not sure that it's a business plan that will really ever be finished. We continue to revise it and make adjustments as we need to. It's just a working document for us to go by. It's.
And when you submit it, is there any kind of approval process for that plan?
No, not necessarily an approval process. No, it's just feedback. Well, you might want to think about this, or so-and-so utility is doing this. You might, those types of. It's just advice and guidance.
And how does that advice come? Or I guess, who do you submit that to?
In this case, I met one-on-one with Bill Furman, my boss, the CEO, and I don't recall exactly who else was in the room at the time. We have a lot of, we meet weekly with him virtually. His direct reports do, so we're constantly talking about our business plans. But to say when we presented, it was sometime in the fourth quarter, I think. But it's a constant point of conversation for all of us.
In the fourth quarter, you meet with him weekly and discuss it. Do you discuss each week?
Well, we don't discuss specifically just the business plan. It's just a weekly update call that we have with Mr. Furman, and to inform him and the others on the call, my peers at the other operating companies. We share ideas and learn from each other what we're doing. So that's weekly, and then of course, he's involved in other times too. He's been in Kentucky quite a bit. He's got more trips scheduled. I think I have had him about 6 or 7 times in Kentucky in the past year. So very engaged, very interested in trying to help help us. And in fact, he's in D.C. this week, talking to some folks about securitization legislation for Kentucky Power.
Did you hear that?
What was it? Tell me.
Sorry, y'all. Hang on, Mom. Don't talk. I had to turn the speakers down because I didn't get my volume on this. Sorry, guys. I didn't get my volume good on it, or it's just not coming through very good. Let me check out this other one that I got and see if it might be a little bit louder. Oh, I think I did bad on the volume, but that's okay. I'll go back and fix it. before I put it on the Patreon. Yeah, it's just I recorded it too low. Let me read this real fast. So I wanted to find out about the parent company, the AEP. And so when AEP is a parent company of Kentucky Power, that means that AEP owns Kentucky Power, and they have the authority to make decisions on its behalf. Now, this structure allows AEP to have a direct stake in the operations and the strategic direction of Kentucky Power, which is crucial for the company's ability to manage and optimize its resources, supposedly effectively, right? Well, AEP's ownership of Kentucky Power enables it to integrate the operations of Kentucky Power into its overall strategy, ensuring that the company can provide reliable and efficient energy services to its customers. This integration allows AEP to leverage the expertise and resources of Kentucky Power to support its broader energy goals and investments. However, AEP's ownership also comes with responsibilities, such as ensuring the Kentucky Power meets the needs of its customers and adheres to regulatory requirements. AEP's decision-making process, which is what the staff attorney is asking about. AEP's decision-making process for Kentucky Power is likely to be influenced by its strategic goals, including the potential for the company to invest in renewable energy and other projects that supposedly align with its long-term vision. But in summary, AEP's ownership of Kentucky Power allows it to make strategic decisions that align with its overall business objectives while ensuring the effective management and delivery of energy services to its customers. Now, that's a real watered down, very safe way of saying how AEP and Kentucky Power work hand in hand. You have a parent company and you have I guess it'd be a child, a child company. Okay. And so, let me get back up here where I left off. Okay. So we're watching this key exchange and okay. So what are you doing? Right here. So because the PSC's final order, but we're going to read, we're not going to read the whole order. If you want to find out what that final order says, come check us out on Patreon because we break that down too. I'm working on all of that right now. But because the PSC's final order later said that the witness could not clearly explain right here in some circumstances. Now, this hearing lasted like 3 or 4 days. I think there's 3 days of testimony. And then I have all of the PDFs, the documents of the testimonies and all. I have all of it. But they later said that the witness couldn't clearly explain in some of these circumstances whether Kentucky Power or AEP controlled certain decisions. Now that matters. So let's do what investigators do and let's follow the money and follow the authority. Follow the money, right? So now if you are new here, so hit that subscribe button. We are so glad to have you here. If you are a returning viewer, you know I'm so thankful that you guys keep coming back. We just have such a great time. Thank you, Mommy, for being my co-host. I enjoy
Oh,
spending my
thank
night.
you. Yeah, it's a good way to spend our evening together, isn't it?
It is. That means more to me than anything. I'd sit here and have this show just so I could sit and talk to you every night, Mommy. I love you.
Oh,
All right. But if you've been here, help us out, y'all. Share the stream. You guys do such a great job. You're always here and ready to go before I am usually. And we're just so appreciative that you guys enjoy this space and this platform, if nothing else, just for the fellowship. But we love y'all and thank y'all for being here. We also have the goal in the live chat tonight, 10 $5 supers. Now we're going to do something fun. I don't know what. I put in there I'd sing a song. I don't know. We can come up with something better than that. That was just I didn't have anything. I couldn't think of anything better at the time and I was in a hurry. But if we can come up with something, give me something. Y'all give me something in the chat. If we can hit our goal tonight, 10 $5 supers. And if we don't do it tonight, we'll do it another night. If we don't hit it tonight, we can do it another night. But give me some ideas. And we'll start doing some games or something. But we can come up with something fun, I bet, for our goal every night. All right. But I want your thoughts in the chat on this rate case as well, on this hillbilly power. Because tonight's question is about accountability, right? One of the things that we found that they were trying to sneak through, that the PSC caught and said, no, we ain't doing that. They were trying to sneak in almost $8 million, $8 million in bonuses, in executive bonuses. But the PSC caught it and they denied it, because when they asked them about it, about that chunk of money in this hearing, they couldn't even explain it. So the PSC denied almost $8 million of executive bonuses. And they didn't say, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we shouldn't have included that. No, that's not what they did. They doubled down and they said, yes, we need those bonuses. We need those bonuses because that keeps us competitive. That keeps us with competitive salaried employees. Thank you, honey. I don't know how to pronounce that. Liam? Is that Liam Gomez? I bet that is, ain't it? Now, see, we spell Liam around here, Liam, I think, is how. But yeah, see, I just phonetically was pronouncing it, and I think I did it right. Yes, like Liam. Good. Sorry, I get tickled real easy. It doesn't take anything exciting or big exciting to tickle me. All right. power companies are the most powerful companies in existence. Well, a lot of people are starting to feel like they have been, like they're trying to run us out of these mountains. And I feel like, well, why would they try to run us out of these mountains? Why? Well, Mom, do you remember back in the 60s and whenever Kennedy and all of them were, maybe it wasn't Kennedy, I think it was Kennedy, they all came down here. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I saw,
but that was war on poverty.
yeah, but it was at that time that they came down here, and things that I read about and was told about that time, that was before my time. I'm too young for that to remember that. But I was told that they were looking at this area back then to flood it like they did in Tennessee. They
Well,
flooded the area, and the people, the leaders here rejected that idea. They wouldn't do it.
well, they
But
did want to flood some of the area here, and they wouldn't let them do it. But it wasn't necessarily right here. I thought it was more up there in the area, a little bit more north.
well, what I was told was that they had the engineers, the Corps of Engineers, come in here back then, and that they looked at this, and that they mapped out a plan. Because they would only be able to do that in the areas that they could do it. They would have to, those Corps of Engineer people would have to really come in and do a big study and, figure it all out.
Mhm.
But that's what people are feeling like now. If, and I've said it for a long time, they would have been really smart to have done it way back then. But now it would cost them way too much money if they tried to buy everybody out. But if they ran us all out and they got the population down so far that, it wouldn't hardly cost them nothing to buy the rest of them out and turn it into lakefront property. And you would get rid of the poverty completely. You would rid the poor. The poor wouldn't be here no more. There wouldn't be nobody that was poor could afford to live here.
Well, now where are you going to send all these poor?
Well, they're all leaving now because of the power. People are leaving the mountains.
I don't think they're all leaving. I mean, they can't leave. There's no place for them to go.
Well, I mean, not everybody's gone, Mommy. Here, let me play this real fast. Let me pull him down, and I'm gonna play this short video, and listen to what this lady says about this. She does a great job.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak. Eastern Kentucky is one of the poorest regions in one of the poorest states, yet we are paying some of the highest electricity rates. It's not fair, it's not sustainable, it's not fair, just, or reasonable. When the coal industry collapsed in around 2010, 2013, families had to move away. Years ago, around that time, I called the utility company. I called Kentucky Power because they'd either added a fee for it or did a rate increase, and I asked them, and they told me directly that the rates were rising because fewer people lived here, so it was now costing them more to maintain it, so they were passing that cost to us now. So the rest of us are having to cover the cost for maintaining the whole system. But what that is, we are being punished for not leaving home. That's 100% what it is. I'm sorry, I get so mad. But we are being punished for staying in the hills of Eastern Kentucky. That's exactly what it seems like. We have no choice. We have no choice in our energy provider. This company has a monopoly, and because I cannot switch to another utility, I have to rely on this commission to protect me from monopoly pricing. And a company that reports billions or millions and billions of dollars in profits should not be allowed to push another rate increase onto one of the poorest regions of the state.
All right. So I've been doing a whole bunch of these reels and putting them on Facebook. Let's take her down and we will listen to another gentleman.
And it was a forced retirement. And we are on a fixed income. Prior military. We came here thinking everything was going to be a little bit better than it was in Arizona. We're now in the process of possibly selling everything we have to go back. We shouldn't have to purchase additional, propane or a generator or something like that to make it, because we're being gouged in Eastern Kentucky on our electric bills. We wanted our grandchildren to move here from Arizona as well. Not anymore. We don't want them to have any part of that. Everywhere we look, everywhere we go, everybody's in poverty here, man. And AEP is just making it worse. So, I'm hoping that you guys will fight for the people that are here, because if not, then there's going to be a lot of us keep rolling on out. And, it's just going to get more poor and more poor. There's nothing here. She's tried to get on driving a garbage truck. It's just not happening, So we're on the verge of giving up. And this rate increase will push us over the edge if we have to.
Okay. Let me take that down. Get ready to run. And these just keep getting worse and worse and worse. I got ready fast. This guy.
I live over at Hardy, Kentucky. I'm on the Randall McCoy home place. And I'm sorry you're filming. I have a radio face. I don't have a TV face. My problem started back, and I'm cutting into it early because I want to be cut short. I live over at Hardy. They started back in the early middle teens, staking out poles, running a new pole line. They actually ran a fiber optic cable up through Hardy, over down to Blackberry Mountain, over to Peter Creek, to God knows where, for the power company. Our problem started, our power kicking off and on. Boom, boom, boom. Modems on the internet. My air conditioner. I'm not going through all this, but since then I've had 5 capacitors at an outer thermostat outside unit that defrosts and comes off and on. After about the third one coming in, my heating and cooling unit guy says, "Neil, what are you doing?" I said, "Buddy, I don't know." Power kicked off and on. He went, "Does that happen all the time?" I said, "Yes." He says, "That's what's killing you." So I've had an outdoor motor, $480. By the way, I'm on Social Security. I don't get the 18%. I get 2.4, 2.8. My new buddy here is going to give you some stats, and I haven't even met him. I've had 5 capacitors in the last 3 years, the outer thermostat. June, I had a new heat pump put in.
Oh. All right, that was one of his. Each person that spoke at those public comment meetings, they only were given, they were given 5 minutes apiece. And I cut those up into 90-second.
Why did I bring all of this? Well, I had a friend that works over here at the power company. She retired this past year, Vanessa. Been there between 35 and 40 years. She says, you can call and tell them if it's stuff like that. Sometimes the power company will reimburse you. Well, I turned those in, and I got a real nice letter from a man by the name of T.J. Bryan. It's Kentucky Power's practice to honor any claim for damages for which they are responsible. Generally, we are responsible for damages that result from negligence. We are not responsible for damages that do not cause the result from forces beyond our control. For example, most instances are not responsible for power outages, voltage fluctuations, property damage caused by weather, vandalism, so forth. Got duplicate letters because I made 2 reports. One was from, by the way, I'm not used to this, so you can forgive me. May 23rd of 2022, December 6th of 2022. Duplicate letters with the number on it. They're not paying. It's a nice way of calling me a liar that says this is going on. So I started documenting. January 23. January 20th, off and on. By the way, even if I'm not home, the power kicks off and comes back on, the lights on the stove are blinking. They don't lose time. They just blink, and you said it. If it loses an hour or 2, then I know how long it's been off.
Okay. So that's what these clips have really done. I've really done really pretty good the last couple weeks over on Facebook, putting them up. I'm just now figuring all this stuff out on how to do all this. I told y'all I've taught myself how to do some stuff. And it's worked out. I've completely replaced that whole Opus Clip program.
About the big Sandy plant
Do
being
it for
shut
free.
down. I sat in that meeting, the public service meeting. AEP sold 2 bills of goods. One was Plan A. Plan A was put scrubbers on the power plant at Louisa. It would be a 30% rate increase to the people. Plan B was shut the power plant down, buy half of the Metro plant, which they already own, which was amazing to me. You let somebody take money out of your right pocket and put it in their left pocket. I don't understand that, but evidently I'm not a good businessman. I'm sorry.
Kentucky business.
So anyways, they decided, our state legislators at the time failed us, and I don't mean no respect because y'all were probably not there at the time, but our public service failed us because they let them go to Plan B. And guess what? The plant disappeared, and we got with the riders and all the other stuff, we still got a 30% rate increase. Still. Still. Then since then, how many oil rates? I know last year it was a 10%. So guess what? I ain't much at math. 30 and 10's 40. So we're really climbing here, people.
Yeah. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And there's no end of this in sight. There's no end to it. Whenever Kentucky Power was started, they were started in 1919. Now, I did a show on this a while back, if anybody was paying attention, but they started, that was the same year that they had this great big court case where the president made, like, the railroad company operate in a loss. They were forced to. They were told they had to. And I don't know the legal stuff that all happened with that case, but that's not my point. My point is, or, right off the top of my head while we're talking about this, but my point is that court case was settled. It provided the precedent, that legal foundation, the legal foundation. So it set the precedent for the Kentucky utilities, was that court case. Out of that court case Kentucky Power was born. And they set it up. They set it up with our legislators. Our lawmakers are the ones who did it. Of course, holding hand in hand with the utility company. And they started building Kentucky Power. And they started building the utility network in the state of Kentucky. Well, at that time, coal was booming. Coal was everywhere. Coal was king. Coal was king. And it was such a big growth. Like this whole area was just booming. You know, back in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. 60s. This area was, didn't you say, Mom, that Pikeville at one time had more millionaires per
Well,
square foot?
I think they still might.
And that was from coal, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was from coal companies, coal plants, coal. Everything was just coal. It built Kentucky. And so that system, this system that our power grid and everything was built on, it was built on that growth. It was built on expansion. It was built on construction projects. And those are those capital investments. That's what, when they say capital investments, when they say capital projects, that's what we're talking about is construction. So the more construction projects that they can come up with, the more money they make, because everything that they do, they get to then go back to the PSC and say, we need to now recover that money. We spent and spent and spent, and we've done this and this and this, and now we just need our operating costs. And I said, what if they purposefully, intentionally run their company in a way, in a manner that would keep them riding that fence line where they could always come back to the PSC and say, we need more money. We need another rate increase. We need more money. Yeah. Let me see. So here's what we were just watching, okay? From the Kentucky Public Service Commission hearing. That's what that exchange is from. The Public Service Commission hearing in the Kentucky Power's general rate case. Commission staff they started pressing into corporate structure, boards, authority, approvals, and what we were listening for, not drama, of course, but we were listening for clarity. Because in a case like this, there are two realities at the same time. They're asking for $1 billion, almost. A billion. They're asking for all this money. You'd think they need to know what they're asking for. They need to know where all that money's going. I mean, we got people that are losing their homes. They are becoming homeless. They're losing their independence. People who do not have this is no longer, electricity is no longer a privilege. You know, I mean, it's pretty much a necessity, don't you think, Mom? What do you think?
I think we all need to go solar.
But from what I've heard, it doesn't produce enough electricity. Gwen, when she was up there talking about hers, she said that she had a ton of them on her roof. But even with the solar panels, that she still had to pay $900 a month on her power bill.
Oh Lord.
Even
Well, I don't
with
know.
solar panels. And somebody else had said, well, you gonna get up there and knock the 6 inches of snow off of them in the wintertime? Because if there's snow on them, 6 inches of snow on them, they ain't gonna work. What do you all think out there? What do you all think about, I mean, what do people do? Propane, but propane's not cheap. I mean, it's cheaper than the electricity, but it's still not cheap. To fill up 4 tanks, small 20-pound tanks for me, it costs over $50 because it's $13 a refill. So 13 times 4, a little over $50, $54 or something like that. Victor, relying on solar. I'm in Oregon. Get real. Yeah. And Philip says mountain folk heat with wood. Y'all, if you're listening, I love heating with wood. But somebody's got to go out there and cut it. You got to find it. You got to let it season. It's got to be seasoned.
And you got to have a place that you can cut it. So if you don't have land, you have a hard time. If you live in a project or something in one of those housing places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are just in trouble. Liam, I'm not from Kentucky, but wasn't a lot of coal shipped out and not used for Kentucky Power? They have completely decimated the coal industry. So Obama, back when Obama was in, he's the one. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was him. I don't know if it was a whole big group of people. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it wasn't just one person. I'm sure there was a ton of people involved in that. But still, they killed coal. Killed the king. That's a good title, show title. Cole is dead. They killed the king. But there's two realities at the same time here, okay? Reality number one, Kentucky Power has people on the ground in Kentucky who manage operations day to day. Reality number two, Kentucky Power is part of a much larger corporate system under AEP. So the real issue becomes which decisions are truly local and which ones are controlled by the parent company. And here's why that's not just a technical question. If big spending decisions are controlled outside of Kentucky, and if those spending decisions drive rate increases here, then the public deserves to know who is actually calling those shots. So, watch carefully for a few things in the rest of this clip. One, who the witness reports to, and two, how the board structure is described. Number three, what gets approved by the parent company, especially capital spending, because capital spending is where follow the money really becomes real. Okay. So let me throw this back up
He's in
there.
DC because it's a coal meeting and there's some Kentucky folks there. More trips scheduled.
Let me go
Bill
back.
Furman, my boss, the CEO, and I don't recall exactly who else is in the room. We have a lot of, we meet weekly with him and how they will be measured. And they cover, a lot of different topics from safety, customer satisfaction, reliability metrics, other, environmental, professional development is included. I mean, those are sections in our business plan.
And who prepares the strategic plan?
I did with my team at Kentucky.
Okay. And do you utilize people from the services companies to prepare that, or is that something that you all prepare?
No, we did that solely on our own.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you do that every year?
Yes, especially going forward. This was this type of business plan that we have in place now was something new that our CEO brought, and each operating company has its own, and probably each business unit, like the transmission group and others, have it as well. But and then we actually do present it to the AEP board after it's finalized. But it was 100% our own creation, and we did the work on it.
And I guess he started in 2024, so this is a new thing, but the intent is that that's going to happen every year.
Absolutely, yes.
And what time of year does that strategic plan get submitted?
They were for this year. It was more toward the fourth quarter, I believe. I'm not sure when we finished it. We worked on it for a good couple of months, and we continue to I'm not sure that it's a business plan that will really ever be finished. We continue to revise it and make adjustments as we need to. It's just a working document for us to go by. It's.
And when you submit it, is there any kind of approval process for that plan?
No, not necessarily an approval process. No, it's just feedback. Well, you might want to think about this, or so-and-so utility is doing this. You might, those types of. It's just advice and guidance.
And how does that advice come? Or I guess, who do you submit that to?
In this case, I met one-on-one with Bill Furman, my boss, the CEO, and I don't recall exactly who else was in the room at the time. We have a lot of, we meet weekly with him virtually. His direct reports do, so we're constantly talking about our business plans. But to say when we presented, it was sometime in the fourth quarter, I think. But it's it's a constant point of conversation for all of
In the
us.
fourth quarter, you meet with him weekly to discuss it. Do you discuss each week?
Well, we don't discuss specifically just the business plan. It's just a weekly update call that we have with Mr. Furman, and to inform him and the others on the call, my peers at the other operating companies. We share ideas and learn from each other what we're doing, so that's weekly. And then, of course, he's involved in other times too. He's been in Kentucky quite a bit. He's got more trips scheduled. I think I have had him about 6 or 7 times in Kentucky in the past year. So very engaged, very interested in trying to help help us. And in fact, he's in DC this week talking to some folks about securitization legislation for Kentucky Power.
Okay. Did you hear that? Listen again.
Times too. He's been in Kentucky quite a bit. He's got more trips scheduled. I think I have had him about 6 or 7 times in Kentucky in the past year. So very engaged, very interested in trying to help help us. And in fact, he's in DC this week talking to some folks about securitization legislation for Kentucky Power.
Securitization
What
legislation.
is here in Frankfurt?
He's in DC because it's a coal meeting and there's some Kentucky folks there.
Whole meeting. Kentucky folks in Washington.
Other planning document that you prepare or that Kentucky Power prepares to send to AEP to kind of indicate that this is our plan for this year or for this period of time?
So we have the business plan, then we also have the scorecard that I think
Scorecard.
Carlin speaks of. That is really tied to our business plan, but that's just more of a metrics driven. Keep us focused on that. It really covers the same areas of the business plan.
What kind of stuff is included in the business plan?
Now this is the staff attorney. Is that what I said he was called? I think he's the staff attorney, the one that I was talking about. Who he gets it. He sees it all. He sees it all, and he comes around with some really good questions throughout the entire hearing. There's a couple of places here or there where he keeps circling, like he keeps asking questions and asking questions and asking questions. He's just not asking the right question. He kind of circles the drain with them a couple times because it's all so confusing, and you can hear that he's not confident. He's not confident, but he's right. He's absolutely right. But he's not confident that he's right. And so I really enjoy watching this stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out the parts that other people care about.
So it covers multiple. We have these core principles that we're following, and so for example, like safety is one of the core principles. Safe and secure employees and public, and so there are there's in that particular piece of it, there would be ideas for communicating and training our employees on various safety issues, and that sort of thing. And then we measure it against our incident rate that we have. We also measure against preventable vehicle accidents. Safety's very important in the business that we do.
Oh.
So that's one example, but as I mentioned earlier, there's safety, there's customer satisfaction. We are a participant in JD Power, and so that's what I was saying earlier, that we survey our customers, so we see those kinds of results and get information from customers who participate in the survey around customer satisfaction. And then there's reliability metrics, and then some financial metrics, of course, and then environmental violations. If we have notice of violations in Kentucky Power. So all of those categories, and probably I'm leaving some out, but we have a plan around those on what we want to do for the year. For instance, under customer satisfaction, the community listening sessions that Mr. Gary and I talked about would be included as one of those actionable items that we are doing.
All right, was that it? Yeah, that's all of that one. Okay. Man, alive, I tell you. So let's see.
I hit you 186.
So I wanted to, let's see, copy. We've been on here an hour and 15 minutes. I think we'll go ahead and just stop this one here. And if you want to follow this, please come and check out our Patreon. There's a whole lot of stuff on there that I leave on the free side, and I control my gifts over there. Okay, so if you can't afford to do the membership and you want to have a membership, just email me. Reach out to me or Crystal or Marnie or anybody that can get a hold of me, Sweet Tater, and we'll give you one. Okay? YouTube does their own and we don't have no say in it. But over on Patreon, I have full say in my gift memberships. So, if you can't do it, don't worry about it. Holler at me and I give you one. We're doing this. Of course, I'm trying to build a company and make a living. That's a given. We all have to make a living. We have to pay bills. All of us do. And I'm trying my very best, and I'm doing it. I've done built it. I've done built the engine. Now it's just filling up the library, filling up the workspace. So if you want to follow the work, if you are enjoying the work and you want to do it with us and you want to know what all this stuff means, if you don't know what securitization means, if you don't know how that's going to affect your power bill and you would like to know, come join us over on Patreon, because I'm translating. That's what the whole Hillbilly Power Investigates is. It's about translating all of this legal mumbo jumbo in very technical terms, and we're taking all of that, putting it through a hillbilly machine, and then we're going to explain it to everybody. So, all right. Well, thank you, Jesus, for another day. Thank you, Lord, for another day just waking up, because I sure didn't have to wake up this morning. You could have took me home last night, but you didn't. You let me stay for another day. And Lord, I pray that you let me stay for a lot more days. I want to raise my children. I want to be a mother to my kids. I want to be a grandmother to my children, my grandchildren. And so I pray, Lord, I pray that you put a hedge of protection around about us all. I pray that you help us to put one foot in front of the other. I pray that you give us all the strength, the wisdom, and the knowledge to be able to go forward and be successful in life. But most of all, Lord, I pray that you give us that wisdom, the knowledge and the wisdom that we need to be closer to you. That's our spiritual sight. Our spiritual lives are the most important thing. It's the most important thing. And ain't none of us promised tomorrow. We can all go home today. We could be called home tonight. And if I was, where would my soul be? Lord, I pray that you forgive me for my sins. Have mercy on me, Jesus. Have mercy on me, Lord. I pray for your grace, your mercy, your comfort, and your peace. There's a whole lot of people that are struggling tonight, Lord. There's a lot of people that are grieving, that have lost loved ones unexpectedly. Didn't see it coming. And I just plead your blood. I plead your precious blood down over them, Lord. Give them whatever it is that they need to be successful in life and to be able to move forward as a healthy and happy person. I love you, Jesus. I'm so thankful for you in my life. But I pray that you'll take us tonight and bring us back tomorrow at the safe and appointed time. Until then, Lord, I give you praise, honor, and glory. In Jesus' name, I love you, Lord. All right. I guess mommy's gone again. she dips out when my eyes are closed. Victor used to be a firefighter back in the day, had to do power line fire cleanup. Well, we just had a death, a local death. It was a boy. They were doing internet or cable. It was either cable, it was communications, whatever comms is. Phone, maybe? I don't even know. Internet or phone or something. They all use the same poles. They use the same poles. Different lines, but the same pole system. And there was a group of young men that all worked together, and they were out in the mountain working somewhere, and they got too close to that. Well, no. Actually, what I heard happened was that they were in the truck. The boy was in the truck, and somehow the line touched the truck, and he said that it was a live line, and that line hit that boy for like over 5 minutes, and it wouldn't stop, and there was nothing that they could do. Absolutely nothing that they could do until they could get a hold of the power company and have them shut it down. They could not get the boy out of the power. I mean, it killed him. It killed him immediately, I'm sure. And all of his coworkers that were there had to watch that. I could not imagine. I couldn't imagine. They'll have nightmares for the rest of their lives. Could you imagine somebody being electrocuted in that fashion for that long and witnessing it and not being able to touch them, not being able to get to them, not be able to, knock them out of it? Nothing. There wasn't nothing that nobody could do. That boy was just stuck in it until they could get the power cut off. And a lot of people were really upset, or they are. His funeral was yesterday, I think. I think it was yesterday. Because I saw a short video somebody put up on Facebook, and it was just cars everywhere. You couldn't get into that funeral. There were so many people. So many people everywhere. And that, half the people were saying, well, he shouldn't have been even near the power.
Holy crap.
It's just a really, really sad situation.
Y'all are so gay, dude.
But it makes you wonder, whose fault is this going to be? Whose responsibility is this going to be? You have a 19-year-old dead kid now. And they said he wasn't doing nothing wrong. It wasn't like he did something and caused this to happen to himself. That ain't what I think happened here. At least that's not what I've heard so far. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I love you. Peace out, Girl Scout. And we'll see you tomorrow. Okay? All right.
From hillbilly crime,
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
you may not know that there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dog passed away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down.
Whisper tales of troubled minds, skeletons covering the mountainside, a treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't match the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no